what to expect. Now we are on live patch 13.5 here, the newest patch that came out about a week ago, and some notable picks that we've seen a lot of in solo queue. Kennen's gone up, Kennen mid. Rumble, I've seen him both top and jungle coming back recently as well, especially paired with J Core. And what's the other one? Yumi being adjusted here. Now, I haven't played her yet, but I've spoken to a lot of people, and they keep telling me that despite the fact her ult doesn't root anymore, she is very, very busted. Her numbers are overtuned. So maybe we get to see some of those today.
Absolutely. Would love to see it. Before it's been kind of banned away or completely disabled in a lot of the tournaments I've been able to see. So if we do get to see it, that would be awesome. But regardless, bans are going underway here as we're going to be in the draft for it. Both sides so far kind of saturating the bans out. No real target bans coming through just yet.
Yeah, Tom Clark with the Thresh and Gragas bans here, and Thresh probably a little bit targeted. I suspect at maybe Jasmine Wolf specifically there, a player who's been spamming a ton of Thresh to come through. The Gragas, I think, a bit more of a utility ban. Yes, Antrax is playing a lot of it, but also I think Gragas three-way flex is just something that a lot of people have picked up. The explosive cast can go AP, you can go tank, both work really well.
Yeah, definitely. So here, Final Man about to come through as well, as it was taken off the board. And that's the great thing about these best of ones. Really, it tends to just be kind of these comfort bans coming through, right? No real meta analysis needed to come through. Just ban away what you think the enemy team is going to pick, because you only have to beat them once. You only have to just take them out one single time. You got the W, you move on.
Sure, true. And these divisions are kind of big. There's a lot of players in there as well, so you don't really have, time to maybe craft too many specific strategies. They just kind of ban whatever you think they play most in solo queue. We do see the Gangplank picked up right away, Echo. GP, not one of the champions who has received a lot of changes recently, but just really strong skilling in general. Can be really annoying in lane against melee champions, especially where Trouble Fire slows you down and never quite catch up there.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious, is 13.5 the patch where we now get to see his barrels as well? I think that was one of the quote-unquote nerfs that came through. I'm just...
Oh yes, actually you're right.
Yeah?
Did have Gangplank changes. My bad.
Look at me. Yeah, exactly. One of the biggest things coming through, right? That your enemy can now see how many of the barrels you have available at any current time. And so that really makes it that you need to be a lot more, dare I say, sparing with your barrels. No more ghost barrels, no more surprising them out of nowhere. Now they know exactly how many you got.
Yeah, and it takes longer to recharge at the later points of the game where Gangplank traditionally is strongest. The answer though, Darius coming up here.
Oh,
now,
Lord.
Echo, GP's fun to watch because those barrels, they do a lot of damage when they hit. But Darius is really fun to watch in the early game where he runs at people, just swings that axe, execute, and GP, we were just talking about GP, being kind of annoying to melees. Well, if Darius takes a ghost, GP ain't going to be able to outrun him. Darius is going to run him down under turret, doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah, level 1 as well, just sitting in that front bush, right, just waiting for him to come into lane. That's the worst feeling as well. It's a great feeling when you are the Darius, but terrible when you're going up against him here. But now Lock-in's still coming through. We're going to see the Trundle get picked up as well. Would surprise me if you don't see that in the jungle. Nice to see that this time around, though. It's not good. I'm so used to NECC, right, where it's just like, we don't get to see them kind of, pick around, screw around with the order of things. This time around, they get to do exactly what they want as the Shen is getting picked. Oh, okay. So now we're being thrown for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, because normally Gangplank, Trundle, Shen, all champions we usually see in the top lane here. Now GP can go mid with very little problems, and if you're trying to avoid the Darius, I kind of see that working here. Trundle can actually be flexed jungle, top, and support as well. That pillar can be used to set things up. It's really, really annoying slow as well. If you're running into the Nautilus, you can subjugate him, make him a lot squishier. Shen too can go into the support and top. River Shen in the jungle was a thing. I don't believe that's something you can currently run the meta, so most likely top or support here for that Shen. We are seeing the Fizz come out as well for the side of Tom C. Clark, and Fizz, Darius, a lot of sort of lane dominant champions who have their big pop-off moments here. It really does feel like Tom C. Clark on the Rid side. They're going for these big highlight reel plays.
Yeah, definitely so. All of these like gap your lane and then come together later on, add some kills to the kill feed and get your things done as we go to the second phase of bans. Zeri, first one taken off the board here, so it seems we're just going to get that bot lane focus ban in the ADCs as well. Same story coming out here from Plano West.
I'll be
Neither team has picked their AD carry, right? So wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of just focusing down that particular lane. Heimer being removed here. That's an interesting one, targeted at Plano. And Heimer also kind of a bit of a flex, both mid and support, though with some changes to, I believe it was the turret health. For Heimer there, his support role has been nerfed a little bit. Still really good in terms of just blocking hook champions, blocking engages, and just generally being obnoxious there.
Definitely so. Yasuo, it's going to be taken off the board as well. Maybe that's some kind of a pick that they only know about. But regardless, that is taken off. And now that's all the bans that have been used up. So now we get to see the last couple of come through, and then we can get a better idea as to what both of these teams are looking to do. It's really going to be the hover here. Yeah, there we go. Going to get locked in.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit sad when I saw that Yasuo ban echo, because that means there was a possibility of an AD carry Yasuo, and there was the Nautilus, there was the Fizz. There are knockups available for this team, and that would have been super, super fun to watch. The Karthus hover, though, this one's kind of interesting, and yet another potential flex pick. We've seen it in the bot lane, the mid lane, and the jungle as well here. But for Plano, they are on the last pick here, and there's no more hiding what it is they want to do. And what are they going with? Leona to round things up. So, okay, that's probably a Karthus bot lane.
Oh my lord. Finally with that Leona, right? That's the first non-sort of flex pick coming through here. The cards have finally been brought away from the chest somewhat. But yeah, Karthus bot coming through here. Also kind of understandable that they got rid of their Yasuo, right? Just that high mobility, trying to stick on top of him. With this last pick coming out. No, it's surely not. Surely not the Malphite. So is it Darius
Malphite jungle?
Is it Malphite jungle?
Yeah, it's Malphite jungle. That is...
Oh
I can hear the disbelief in your voice here. So, let me preach to you the gospel of Malphite jungle here.
Okay.
Now, the first 6 levels of Malphite jungle does teamwork? Can it make the dream work? Or is it actually just going to come down to overpowered individual champions just finding those kills, absolutely popping off? Oh, Echo, it's not a Malphite jungle.
Oh my... Oh no! Dude, I had a feeling, I had an inkling of a suspicion that it might just be the Darius jungle here. Unfortunately, with their order being placed, it is a little bit out of whack. But regardless, that is gonna be a Darius jungle RMC.
I'm not a fan of this. I would much have rather seen the Malphite jungle here. I feel like Darius is so incredibly strong as a laner here, especially when we see that it is going to be Shen. Regardless who was going to be top, whether it was GP, Shen, or Trundle, I think Darius would have a great matchup into any of them. Malphite, on the other hand, it's like, yeah, okay, you do decently well into Shen, but he can sort of out-sustain your mana. Malphite does struggle with mana issues with how costly his spells are. And I just get worried for Antrax right now, because, hey, if Trundle shows up topside, especially post 6, yeah, Trundle is not going to be, or pardon me, Malphite's not going to be able to pull the 1v2 that a Darius could have been able to.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot rougher here. And like you touched on during the draft, they are sending the Gangplank into the mid lane here. Now it is going to be a little bit tricky. You're obviously going up against that Fizz, right? The playful Trickster is going to be able to dodge away from a lot of those barrels. At the same time, you could use that to just bait it out and then look to do damage with your Trial by Fire, with your Q.
Yeah, I can't wait for Enchilada to gank the mid lane as well. Then we get to see the troll pole face off.
Definitely so. Enchilada, the Iron Goat, and Enchilada we trust, man. I'm watching Enchiladas like a hawk for this game, and I'm telling you, he's gonna be the one. He's the main character.
I don't know what the obsession is with Enchiladas right now for you, Echo.
Dude, he's the Iron One boy, all right? He's my goat. In him we trust, the underdog.
I feel like asking you, tacos or enchiladas, man?
Ooh, okay, come on. How you gonna do me like that, man? Honestly, I'm more of a taco guy myself, but for enchiladas, I change. Just for him. Just for him, I change.
Just this game. There are no tacos.
Yeah,
Enchiladas safe. You know, Echo,
exactly.
you're gonna support this jungler for now because no tacos available. Both junglers starting on the bot side of the map here. And yeah, I don't know if I really expect any sort of early ganks coming through from both of these guys. I feel like maybe if it's an opportunistic gank, if somebody overextends somewhat, maybe we go for it. But neither Trundle nor Darius are particularly potent gankers.
Yeah, and as well, you look at the top laners right now, exactly the potent fighters, dare I say, right? It's like Shen is more like, you know, you can just disengage rather easily, but the damage kind of lacking early on. And I mean, Malphite just cheese wheels you and runs off. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, well, Antrax burning through his mana pool. Look at that, down to 20% already, real quick here. And that was my concern, right? The fact that Shen can kind of sustain that a little bit. By the time Shakmo actually gets up there, yeah, they really don't have kill threat. Without mana, top lane, I know that's a rock, but that's also a huge wet noodle fight. If anything, I'm going to keep my eyes, I think, more on the mid lane for kill threat between these two. For now, Tuna Slayer's kind of getting poked out a little bit by that GP. And GP sus, yeah, that's definitely sus name. Managing his mana really, really well as well.
Goated name, man. Goated name, honestly. Yeah, it is what it, right. It does feel like top lane as well as bot lane. Not going to find too much action there until these later levels do come through. As Shakmo is going to have first move into the river here, so that should be a secured crab. As Enchilada is still working on taking out that Grump, but maybe we get to see. Oh, look at that rotation actually coming through. Antrax is moving down as well.
Okay, into the mid lane, man. That's where I think you've got the highest chance of action to come through. But great word from Sus there. Able to spot the imposter, knows that he won't be able to get ganked. Just chuck in a barrel, it's free.
I'm about to leave, bro. If you keep. okay. But that's a lot of looking for possible gank. Not quite going to find anything there with Antrax. Just too low mana. Needs to head on back. Has that TP available as well, so we'll be able to get back onto lane. But already, right, just the little bit of movement there coming out for Antrax, you know, roaming down as well when they secure that crab and looking to get vision on Enchilada. That's already more team play that's in half my solo queue game. So honestly, I'm with it, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing. As Tuna Slayer going in for a bit of a trade coming. Yo, okay, Tuna Slayer on the fist. That's kind of these names, man. They're coming out here. I like it.
Yeah, and usually when you see a name like Tuna Slayer, you think this guy kills tunas. No. He is the tuna that slays. Enchilada coming.
Unless Enchilada can find him here. Nice pillar comes through. The Ignite goes down as well. Tuna Slayer gonna try and get something first time, but a nice flash comes through with Enchilada. My boy, looking for the first blood, but so close. Had the flash available, but did not want to risk it. That will be flash and Ignite down from Tuna Slayer, so that can definitely be punished the next 5 minutes.
Hey, Sus had to burn both as well, but huge props to Sus as well because of the way they held their flash and used it to get out of that fight. It was really, really close. And Tuna Slayer was looking to really want to get that first blood with that Fizz, especially early on. Those kills matter so much more. Fizz snowballs faster. My goodness, English. Snowballs faster than the GP does in the mid game. So Tuna Slayer is more than happy to go 1-for-1. And once you add in that first blood as well, would have been worth it. As it stands though, Tuna sticking around, just wants to pick up that last wave before he goes back to base. But against GP, that's kind of risky. Barrel's pushing incredibly.
Yeah, definitely. So if the killer, as Antrax pushed up in that turret, was trying to fake the back, still sitting up in that brush. As Enchilada is on his way down to his bot lane as well, but that ward just barely still alive, spots him out, unfortunately. But Jeffrey's been doing a great job. A surprising amount of damage coming out from the Shen early on as well into Antrax. Been keeping him under his turret as Enchilada is going to go ahead and look to possibly start up this drag. They probably want to get vision on Shakmo first before they look to start up, and they're going to have vision on him in a moment as Shakmo is on his way into this top lane. After the killer does have level 6, but see what that pull could easily cancel it through. Gonna dash away, pull comes through, gonna cripple him as well. Flash comes out. Slow is bountiful, but it should not be enough. Jeffrey the Killer is gonna be fine. Surprisingly enough, though, Enchilada not looking to start up that drive.
Yeah, Enchilada had already moved away, headed towards that raptor pit by the time Shakmo showed, so was in position, can still, if he wants, actually still rotate right back to that dragon and take it. Shakmo, there's no way they can get from that top side to that dragon quickly enough here. Now, I do want to highlight the gank from Shakmo onto Jeffrey there, because the Gangplank Can Barrage was up and available, so there really wasn't much kill threat onto the Shen. If they wanted to kill Jeffrey, Antrax had to ult pretty much immediately, did hit 6 off that wave, but took a little bit longer than expected. I think because of that, Antrax wasn't really enraged to go full commit. Shakmo, once they hit 6, that's when these ganks are really going to matter. That's when you're going to have a burst to be able to cut through even the likes of the Shen.
Yeah, those level 6 timers, nearly all up and available here, especially for the side of the Cougars, right? Boppo still on level 5, almost has the Requiem available, and then all 3 globals will be up. As now the rotation comes down. They know indeed that ward spots him out. Nice pillar though Jump the Waters isn't going to find the mark, but Jasmine Wolves is here with the hook, and they find the damage. First blood coming through for Teddy.
A really good board that came out, spotted out Enchilada doing that one, and they just ate him right up here. And that's going to be thank you for the leash coming through from Plano here. Going to be able to just rotate down. I mean, Enchilada took about, what, 1k health off that dragon, and they're just going to be able to come in, pick that one up for free. Plano's been doing a great job with their vision. It feels like throughout the entire game, they've had vision on Enchilada at almost every single step.
Yeah, definitely. So, right, you saw Tuna Slayer way earlier on. They placed that ward down when Shakmo showed himself up in that top lane for the potential that the drag got started up, and it paid dividends, right? Like you mentioned, thanks for the leash. They grabbed themselves that. No one dies. They get first blood onto their ADC as well. Let's continue pushing this lane, and right now things are looking up for Plano.
Plano as well, hitting 6 in every single lane here. And now is when you start to expect to see that Fizz really look to pop off, especially against a squishier target like GP. Now is when I expect to see Shakmo try and force some ganks as well. Keep in mind, this is Flash Darius, not Ghost Darius, so he has to burst on his targets. He doesn't have the ability to run them down in a long lane. He will rely on his laners to help him do that. And for the Cougars here, their globals are online as well, so if ever they want to start making plays, now feels like the time. Maybe not to top lane. I don't think Jeffrey has kill threat, but hey, maybe if you can poke down Tuna, there is a chance you can just go with that Karthus out, you know, go with Enchilada. Fizz not the tankiest early in the game.
Indeed, he is not here. Just going to get that shove on in. Next objective on the list would be that Rift Herald. Probably still going to be a little bit of time before we see that take place. Gotta say though, a rather tame 10 minutes so far. Obviously, both of these teams, a lot of characters that want to wait for those level 6s to come online. Now that they're all up and available, maybe we get to really start to see some scuffles coming through a Shakmo. We'll go ahead and start up this Herald now as well. Enchilada still clearing his side of the jungle there, but with the rotation coming through from Antrax, surely they know that something's up.
Yeah, Enchilada popping the Squire's Bloom here. I don't think it actually caught vision on it. Doesn't matter. They've walked into the river. 2k health on the Herald.
Yeah, it's looking rough though. Rotations coming through from Tuna Slayer, who should be first there. As he does go down, secured by Shakmo, but will they get out alive is the question. Jeffrey goes in, Cannon Barrage comes down as well. Antrax will fall, they go 1 for 1. Enchilada gives his life flash forward though. A double kill for Sus Among Us. Can he find the triple though? No, he cannot, but regardless, it's gonna be 2 kills for the GP.
Able to answer back there. 2 for 1 health was picked up. Broadside Guapo.
For some more here, the Devastation doing quite a bit of damage onto Jasmine, but he's just a bit too tanky.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we expected from this bot lane a little bit, right? The fact that Jasmine, they can tank up quite a bit of that damage here. Not too worried, and Teddy's going to be really safe with range from that as well. Not too much to come down. We didn't see either of the globals used from the bot laners here. Boppo, Teddy were kind of engaged in combat, so they couldn't risk trying to charge up their ultimates there to actually put the damage down. Now, Echo, game state check. Where we're at here. Plano, they had a good early game, and their laning continues to be really strong. If you look across the board here, they're doing better in terms of CS numbers, especially in that bot lane, and Ezreal will scale up to be a monster. So will Karthus, but Ezreal will always outrange that Karthus. And for the Cougars, I've liked the idea, the productivity they've been putting down, but none of it has panned out. And even with those 2 kills on Herald, they didn't get the objective. So I would argue that Plano right now is ahead and will continue to have the initiative for the next at least 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and the vision as well has been such a strong suit for Plano. I feel because once again there, it kind of feels like Enchilada's trying to make something happen, but it's just everywhere he goes, nothing really comes out of it because the vision game from Plano is just too strong. They're shutting down any sort of gank potential that could come through for him, and it just kind of makes Enchilada feel kind of useless, right? It's like, okay, I'm coming down to gank this lane. No, you're not. This vision, go somewhere else. Nope, this vision there, go somewhere else. No, this vision there, go somewhere else. Go for an objective. Nope, this vision there, go somewhere else. And so it's kind of like this, I don't know, it's like hell cycle coming through where he just can't really find much. And so he's still looking for that initial opportunity. Whenever the fights did break out, he has given his life on over for the kills. That has cemented Sasamogas for a double kill as now a dredge line lands, followed up by the knockup. Boppo is getting lower and lower with Jeffrey on the way down. He's a little too late. Reckham gets dropped as well, but just not going to find anything.
Antrax actually TPing down. So we saw the stand united come through from Jeffrey, but Boppo died before that could complete. Meanwhile, Antrax, because they use TP instead. There's no canceling that, giving a free lane to the top side. Antrax trying to make something happen mid here.
Enchilada might just have to give his life once again. The knockup follows, and Tuna Slayer just takes him out. Flash comes through as well just to be safe. Nothing they could do there, and with the rest of the squad roaming up as well. This drag is up in 8 seconds. Everyone's backing away from it right now, so maybe they don't want to grab it just yet. Want to get those resets through first.
Yeah, it's kind of risky. Death timers are very, very short, and more importantly, they lack the damage to take it. There's a chance Enchilada gets there in time to actually stop it, and Plano don't want to give over the dragon the way they got it the first time when Cougars tried to start it out and Enchilada was on his own. But again, Plano just coming out ahead on that series of plays. We were kind of waiting for those level 6s to see how it goes, and that's the thing we kind of didn't discuss, right? Echo, the fact that globals are great when you're in isolated lanes and you're trying to pull a numbers advantage. But once everybody's grouped up, those globals mean a lot less than the big AoE ultimates, the big team fight ultimates, the actual damage that's coming through from Plano. So really solid rotations from them to make that happen on the bot side. Dragon has spawned right now, and you can see that Cougars, they're the ones grouping up. They really want to make sure they don't give this one over for free this time.
Definitely not here. As Shakmo already picked up that mythic item, has that available, that stride breaker. Gonna make it slightly easier for him to run people down. Doesn't have boots yet though, so it is gonna make it a little tough. As a home record does drop the ulti, but Jasmine's just like, okay, you tickled me a little bit there, but that's all right. I'll just be leaving. I'll just be getting some free tower damage here for Teddy. They're just gonna continue to push these lanes on through, surmount even more pressure. Now the collapse onto the dragon begins. Samoga's in a tricky spot with Enchiladas once again, just trying to get some poke damage through. From the Waters does find Enchilada though, and that's the all clear signal to engage. Oh my god, they just shred him. Depth charges. Finds Samogas as well, and he is not long for this world. Yep, Shakmo gonna go ahead and take him on out. Home wreck is in deep, but he might have gone in too far. He's next on the list. A double kill for Shakmo.
You know, sometimes we use the idiom, you know, that they're on the chopping block, but Shakmo is really hammering that home right now with these dunks over and over and over again there. Plano, yeah, they just group up, and I want to highlight, first of all, that Jasmine managed to zone out both Boppo and Homereka 1v2 in that little tri-bush there. And just as you mentioned, ate that Leona ultimate. That probably wasn't the intent. If you're going to use a big teamfight ultimate like that, you kind of got to go in together, or else it's wasted. You don't have it for the actual fight. And because it took so long as well, Tuna Slayers got to recall in the mid lane, come right back out from that base, and that was what enabled the pick onto Enchilada, which kind of snowballed out of control. And the gold is starting to snowball out of control as well. That's the first time we're seeing this major lead form in favor of Plano here, up about 4,500 gold with Dragon stacking their favor. And with Herald coming up as well right now, I expect to see Plano just kind of go for that, take that, and probably take the first third.
Indeed, everything is aligning towards that fact. 4K gold lead for the side of Plano here. Saw Enchilada moving down once again, but got spotted out by the ward. It just feels bad. It feels like Enchilada cannot catch a break. He was the one to get caught out at that dragon as well, right? We even saw the cannon barrage coming through from the GP, but it just wasn't enough to try and facilitate any sort of retaliation. He went down as a Dredge Line, and stun finds Boppo. Look at that damage come through. Dredge Line comes down as well. It's on the Waters. We see the Stand United come through. It's going to keep Boppo alive. And now Homewreck is the new target. Shot Barrage finds a whole lot of damage as well. Jasmine Wolf, man, he takes the brunt of everything and does not care. As now, it's going to be a showdown of the junglers. But oh no, Antrax is on his way down as well. Shakmo dunks on him. And he says, thanks for the leash. Round 2.
Yeah, Shakmo's just like, I don't need you, Antrax. Stay up there. Keep pushing. We don't care. Jeffrey standing it right to the bot lane. TP right back up there immediately. Not missing a beat, but actually, able to keep the bot lane alive. And I think that's massive for the Cougars. It's not the prettiest look for them, but they're not dying. And I think that's a win, considering how things have been going. Herald, as we mentioned before, you know, as expected, going into the hands of Plano there. And now the question is, where does Plano want to drop turrets? Because I think that's their biggest problem right now. They're winning fights, but Malphite and Viz aren't great at actually pushing in and taking turrets. And if anything, whenever we look mid lane, it's been Tuna being shoved in by Sus. So you're going to need that Herald to really pop open these two solo lanes, unless you can rotate Teddy up.
Things are looking rougher. side of Cougars at the moment here with that Herald secured. That is so much siege potential to come through here is now. It's still just a way to find this top lane, right? Both of these top lanes just kind of looking at each other. The Heart Steal has been picked up for Jeffrey. He's still 0-2. That's going to allow him to get tankier, build up his strength as he still looks for these trades with Antrax. Both of them are just a bit too tanky. You know, there's no real kill threat just yet.
Yeah, we already said wet noodle fight in the top lane, right? Nothing's gonna happen out there without some.
Oh no! Home Wrecker is in a tricky spot. Gets found with the ulti. Gets pulled in. Are they gonna dunk on him? No, they don't even need to. They give it on over to Tuna Slayer. Ult over the wall though from Antrax.
Oh no!
The blast code. No, it didn't quite work out as he hoped. And so Enchilada just kind of gets to walk away from that one. Antrax looking for a bit of damage here onto Boppo. They are going to go ahead and let him live. Once again, it's another congregation of both of these teams into this bot river, and the drag's not even up and available.
Nope, Herald is though, so they want to just group up and kind of brute force one of the lanes instead. That could make up for Antrax just wanting to participate in everything in the mid lane push.
Oh my god, Enchilada, no, he dies for such a sin. He gets dunked on. Rest in peace, down he goes. Sus stepped a bit too far forward, wanted those extra minions. Enchilada has to die for his sins, and now this mid lane is wide open. 4 members strong here for Plano as they're going to go ahead, drop the Herald down, and Sus can do nothing but watch as his turret falls. He's just going to do his damnedest to make sure that the same doesn't happen to his tier 2.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering. Are they going to push in here? I do think it's a little bit risky. The wave clear from Sus right now is massive. Able to immediately clear that.
No, they find the ult dash forward. Huge hook. Stand united, but there's no one to stand with because Sus Amogus Balls is down, and Tuna Slayer is even able to get out. Oh no, but I mean, it's just, yeah, we don't even need to see it. It's not good. It's too bloody for the children. They can't see that one. As down goes Boppo. Shakmo found him in the bush. Recall and takes him out. Nowhere for Boppo to go. And top lane, it feels RMC is the only lane where things aren't in a losing manner for the Cougars right now.
Yeah, Jeffrey. They've done a great job using their Sound United and TP to try and help out other lanes without falling behind, but it's not been enough, and all your other lanes are struggling immensely right now. Jeffrey and Boppo both trying to push those side lanes while Plano made that mid lane push. Didn't work out. They didn't get those turrets, and we are well past the point where there are turret plates. It's all or nothing here, and it was nothing for Cougars. And I am worried for them. I don't know how they come back from this, to be honest, Echo. I mean, Enchilada, they're so far down right now, they can't be the one making plays. Maybe Home Wrecker can try and find something, but I'm looking at the item disparities, and it feels like Plano is almost half an item to a full item ahead across the board.
Yeah, the front line of Plano, man, it's just too strong. 6-1. Shakmo has that death stance picked up as well. Wants to make sure that Sus has absolutely no chance, and now they're running him down. They send the ultis in. They find a double ultimate. The damage comes through. Pull him back. Put him in the dirt. Down he goes. Enchilada can do nothing but watch. And with Sus down, that is their main damage dealer off the board. They just look for the Baron now?
Yeah, it's free. Why not? They have a numbers advantage. Not that they really needed it in that first place. Their first turret going down on the side of Cougars here. Jeffrey able to pick that up on the top side. It's objective bounty gold. They're finding some gold at least, but it's really, really not enough to come back from this one. And Echo, if you thought Plano was scary before with Baron buff, remember we said their weakness was kind of turret taking for the most part? Yeah, that's not a weakness.
Yeah, mitigating weaknesses all across the board. The Cannon Barrage comes through, but does not find the steal. Shakmo, with his hands on the rift there with the smite, is going to go ahead and secure that one. Boppo dodging death there, quite close. And now, Baron-empowered minions are going to allow Plano to push on it.
And you know, I respect the attempt from Sus Amogus there to go for that Cannon Barrage, because truth be told, you're not going to be using it anytime soon for anything else. So if you get it, hey, that's amazing. You literally had nothing to lose. Plano on the reset now, coming back in, and it's looking like a potential 1-4 here with Tuna Slayers on the split push. Keep in mind, Fizz, no TP here. Home Wrecker actually flashing away.
Oh, he got a little... Listen, man, Jasmine Wolves, he's just got that presence looking a little spooky as the 4-man comes through. Antrax is just trolling now, popping the ulti to try to get some of that farm. Also, conveniently got himself a little bit of distance there from the possible collapse to come through. things are just looking bad right now. Tuna Slayer's up in this top lane, trying to get rid of that tier 1, but Jeffrey the Killer gonna try and hold on to the little bit of real estate that the Cougars still own. He will not give up that top turret without a fight. As the Heartsteel, he's gonna hold the line.
Heartsteel at 57, that's hardly any health at all.
Hey, man,
a long way
something.
for Jeffrey. Fair enough. And hey, you know what? Jeffrey is still a level up from Tuna, and that actually matters. That level is probably what's going to keep him safe. Should a 1v1 be extended in that top side. But Tuna recognizes that I don't want to be up here. I want to kill people, right? And Shen, I ain't killing him. Let's go back mid. Let's hunt for something here. Bopple has to be very, very careful. He's very, very switching. Heck, for that matter, so is Enchilada.
Dude, Antrak just moving in, and they collapse and annihilate Enchilada. You're not even safe under your own turret anymore. Down he goes, and the tier 3 will fall. We see the ult come out from a home wrecker, but it's not going to find anyone, and so the siege continues. Cannon barrage to try and buy some space here. Antrak does get caught up, ults in, but goes down. Finally a pick for the side of the Cougars. Can they turn that into more? The answer is looking like a resounding no, because 2 more members are gonna fall. They find Jeffrey. He dodges under the turret, but down he goes, and the ace comes through the Requiem, but it just does no damage, and none of the members will fall. They trade Antrax for all 5 members of Cougars, and with now Enchilada back up, he has to hold the line, looking for something here. Finds a chomp onto Jasmine, has to flash away, but the turrets take him out. The shutdown, the comeback angle. Surely, nope, he does not. Tuna Slayer, playful trickster jumps on over him. Both of these Nexus turrets are gonna go down. Home Wrecker,
we trust.
Still standing, and Home Wrecker we trust. They're not even gonna try that at the KD. They're just running circles around him in the Nexus. And Plano are gonna go ahead and take this game in dominating fashion.
Yeah, Plano from start to finish, it felt like they're just in control. They were winning.